Hello, I'm David Lee, a game dev program manager at Visual Studio. Welcome to Leveling Up Game Developer Productivity with Visual Studio 2022. I'm delighted to share the major improvements that you have been waiting for. In this talk, you will learn how performance improvements in VS 2022 for C++, Unreal Engine projects, and the IDE itself will impact your daily workflow. I will introduce new features for Unity projects and Git integrations in Visual Studio. Then, I will share improvements you might have missed throughout VS 2019 before demoing Hot Reload and IntelliCode. I'm super excited to show you all these features. But before we begin, I want to give a special shout out to all of you who tweeted, emailed, posted on social media platforms, and filled out surveys. We heard you loud and clear about how productivity is important to you. With Visual Studio 2022, our team is working hard to incorporate your feedback directly into the VS 2022 roadmap. We are here for you. What you see today is only a glimpse of the improvements we have in store for you. Without further ado, let's get started. The first improvement is something I know many of you were waiting for. Visual Studio 2022 is now 64-bit. In the newest version, you can open, edit, run, and debug your biggest and most complex game solutions without running out of memory. Next, search faster than ever in VS 2022. After enabling index searching, you can now search 1.87x faster with our indexed find files. For C++, find all references is now 43% faster. Besides the speed of your search experience, you can now get to code faster. Using the Unreal Engine 4.27 codebase, we benchmarked improvements to some actions that you frequently use. For example, opening Visual Studio and loading solutions. For C++, opening a file is now 2.46x faster than before. While the time reduced from these actions may look small at a glance, these actions are ones that you repeat many, many times on a daily basis. A few seconds here or there will save you minutes in the long run. Getting to code now feels faster. For the Unreal Engine experience in Visual Studio, we have joined forces with Epic Games to deliver performance boosts to IntelliSense for Unreal Engine. Through sharing precompiled headers, we were able to make semantic code colorization and IntelliSense ready 18x faster. Previously, the time it took semantic colorization to show up and IntelliSense to be ready was the same for opening the first file and any subsequent files. In the newest version of Visual Studio, opening both the first file and any subsequent files is now drastically faster for colorization and IntelliSense ready. In addition, non-Unreal Engine C++ IntelliSense ready times were improved by a factor of 1.5x. This change will benefit those of you who use C++ IntelliSense. Besides performance-based improvements, we also introduced new features that will also increase your productivity. Miss pair programming with your coworkers while working from home? Live Share enables you to remotely collaborate with others in real time. You can follow along, do live editing, debug as a group on different platforms with Visual Studio and VS Code. In VS 2022, you can now use code cleanup automatically whenever you save a file. Code cleanup will make sure your code is properly formatted and your coding style preferences are applied. Currently, this feature is available for .NET. C++ support is not currently available. Lastly, VS 2022 is filled with personalization options. There are a ton of themes on the Visual Studio Marketplace. Later, I will show you a few different themes in the demos. Stay tuned. For now, let's talk about Unity. For Unity, we have many exciting new features. In VS 2022, you can view active scene objects directly in the locals window. We have added both quick navigation to asset usages using code lens hints and support for ray trace shaders, UXML, and USS files. With the latest version of VS, we added Unity-specific quick fixes and refactoring options while improving visualizers during debugging. This will let you see large arrays and vectors. If you use Git, we have been working hard on enhancing our Git and GitHub tooling in Visual Studio. Features like multi-repo support, line staging, and compare branches are now available in VS 2022. You no longer need to rely on external tools to manage your source control, nor need to be a Git expert to be able to utilize Git and GitHub in Visual Studio. If you're coming from VS 2019, you may be familiar with our build throughput improvements. But some of you may not be aware of all our accomplishments since we were last at GDC. Let me briefly tell you what you will gain by upgrading to the latest tools. To start, let me take you through some real-world examples of how shorter build iteration made real-world impacts for AAA studios. The Gears 5 team at the Coalition compared VS 2019 and VS 2017 on 3 different build configurations. They saw 27.9x faster build times in VS 2019. RL from the Coalition said that shorter build iteration will allow developers to have more time to write quality code and fix bugs. In addition to link time, build times were also greatly reduced. The Gears 5 team observed 2.67x faster end-to-end build times. RL mentioned that faster build times on the build farm will allow their testing team to get a build sooner and find more bugs. Similarly, Turn 10 Studios and Playground Games also noticed great results for build throughput in their games. Turn 10 Studios saw a 4.95x improvement in link time for Forza Motorsport 7. For Forza Horizon 4, the link times are 18x faster compared to Visual Studio 2017, while build times are 4.24x faster. The decrease in build time enabled Playground Games to switch from debug fast link to debug full. Andrew Sage from the Playground Games noted that improvements reduced workflow interruption and alleviated mental task switching overhead caused by the stalls. If you aren't on the latest toolset, upgrade now. All the build throughput improvements are available in VS 2019 16.8. For debugging, we made incredible runtime performance improvements for Visual Studio's default debug configuration. We measured a 2 to 3x speedup for programs compiled in debug mode. This improvement is available in VS 2019 16.10. Lastly, light up hard-to-find memory bugs with Address Sanitizer. ASAN is available for Xbox developers who are on VS 2019 16.9 or later. Now, let's get started with the demos. Hot Reload for .NET and C++ is a feature that was recently introduced in Visual Studio designed to reduce time spent in your debugging loop. Traditionally, you would start a debug session, play your game to reach a bug, stop debugging, attempt to fix a bug, recompile, and start the loop all over again. As you can see here, playing and rebuilding the game can take minutes to hours of your precious time. Hot Reload is supported by Edit and Continue with the same limitations. Currently, optimized codebases are not supported by Hot Reload. Hot Reload is not limited to game development. You can apply your code changes without needing to pause your game or app's execution with a breakpoint. Once the changes are applied, you can re-execute them again to see immediate results. Have you ever found an annoying bug somewhere in your game that is very tedious to reach? What about playing your own game for half an hour getting to a specific state, only to find out your bug fix didn't work? How many minutes, if not hours, did you waste while rebuilding every time you wanted to make a change? Does this sound familiar to you? Let me show you how it works. Imagine you're a tech artist doing micro art iterations on this open source, cross-platform CMake project, Bitfighter. Currently, the ship is gray with flames coming out of its boosters. With Hot Reload, I can change the color of the ship without restarting or rebuilding the game. Let's change the ship to look more cyberpunk inspired, like my Visual Studio theme. When I'm done making the edit, I can press the hot reload button to apply the changes immediately. Look, we have a green and magenta ship. The change was applied without having to restart the game. What if I want to make the flames bigger? You can keep hot reloading in the same session. This time, I can hot reload by saving the file. To enable hot reload on file save, make sure the option under the hot reload dropdown is checked. Now we have giant flames. With hot reload, you can boost your productivity by saving valuable time. You won't have to restart, recompile, and play your own game every time you want to apply a code change. Next up, IntelliCode for Unreal Engine and Unity projects. We made IntelliCode by building an AI model through parsing many codebases to collect common coding patterns. When enabled, IntelliCode suggestions show up as additional suggestions on top of your IntelliSense member list. New for VS 2022, IntelliCode supports Unreal Engine 5. For Unity, IntelliCode will provide whole line completion for you. Whether you or a member of your team is a new developer, or you have been coding for years, IntelliCode is for you. I'm using the Action RPG demo on Unreal Engine 4 with the Winter is Coming theme in Visual Studio. We are currently in the function that deals with damage attributes. Imagine you're coding along and want to list the members of the pawn class. Normally, when accessing members of a class, IntelliSense may give you a long list of functions or variables to choose from. What's new here are 4 context-aware suggestions denoted by the star. Now, for any C++ developer, there is a model predicting common practices. For Unreal Engine, we trained the AI model using many Unreal codebases. IntelliCode will give special casing for Unreal Engine types. Here, you see getController, getMovementComponent, and others. For studios with many teams, this is great. Any studio can set up their own IntelliCode model. By training the model over your own codebase locally, IntelliCode can provide suggestions based on your team's coding habits and frequently used internal type. Here, in a different case, when you type the arrow operator, you can see there's 2 different star notated suggestions. This is IntelliCode knowing the context in which a member might be used frequently. Let's say you're a new hire. You can quickly get up to speed with your team's coding patterns. Or, if you're a developer learning a new game engine or language, you can see how other developers use frequently used member functions and decrease your learning time. Of course, if you're an experienced developer, these sorted suggestions will save you time as you won't have to scroll through this long list of functions, vars, or enums. New for Unity projects, IntelliCode will now suggest whole line completions. Here, I'm using the cart game demo with Deep Dark Material theme in Visual Studio. As I begin a new line, IntelliCode will show whole line suggestions that fit the model. These lines show up in gray. At the end of the line, it will prompt you to press Tab to accept. If the suggested whole line completion does not fit your need, you can start typing a few characters. The suggestions will change depending on the current context. Here, the suggestion considers the newly created transform variable above. We want to make it easy to upgrade for you. You can install VS 2022 side by side with VS 2019 to try out the new experience. When opening your project in VS 2022, You will be asked to upgrade the latest toolsets. Don't want to upgrade the toolset? You won't have to. The new V143 toolset is binary compatible with previous C++ toolsets in 2019 or older. Older compilers are also available in VS 2022. You can use the old compilers with VS 2022 and it will still work. Want open source third-party libraries but don't have a package manager? Try VC Package. Download VS 2022 today and try it out. We are continuously improving scenarios for you and are looking for your feedback. Let us know your thoughts in a survey and help us build an even better experience for game developers in Visual Studio. We are listening. That's all, folks. Thank you.